Good morning, my friends. Good morning, traders. It's time for the market forecast for Monday, August the 19th. I'm John Hoagland. Thank you for trusting me with your time. Hope you had a nice weekend. Hope you took some time to do something nice for yourself and get a good weekend's rest. We've got a whole new week of trading coming at us this week. As far as economic releases, absolutely nothing notable today, not much tomorrow. I do want to point out that it is FOMC minutes release on Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central Time. Lots of eyes will be on what they talked about and what is coming out in those minutes. As far as the news is concerned, it looks like the negotiations are back on between the U.S. and China. The president tweeted over the weekend that they're doing very well with China and talking, which, hey, that's a good step towards negotiation, right? Awesome. Stocks around the globe are higher on that news, as well as future economic plans as far as easing is concerned. Interest rate reform was announced in China over the weekend. That should provide a little bit more liquidity for smaller businesses, make it a little easier for them to get loans. And crude prices got a boost over the weekend after an attack on a Saudi oil field by a Yemeni drone. So some possible supply issues. Crude starting off to the upside this morning, leaving the opening range at the dead low of the regular trading hours. We're going to take a look at that very shortly. Good morning, everybody. Looks like Walid, Blake, Manny. Hey, I think it's Huame, Manuel, Rogerio, George, Ezra, Ray. Nice to see everyone. Alan, Clint, good morning to everyone. Yes, please make sure you like, share, comment, questions, feedback, and heckling are all welcome. Why don't we go ahead and take a look into these charts for an early Monday look at what's going on in these markets. Okay. We've been kind of suffering as far as overall volume is concerned, and I want to mention again, we should be trading October today, October crude. Rollover is largely over. We're going to lose a lot of that September open interest, whatever is left here today. So where does that leave us? Well, the overall volume has been suffering, but this just seems to make sense. We've kind of fallen into a little bit of range centrally located between weekly kickoff high and weekly kickoff low. That high 56.70, low 52.50, and the short time frame does remain in control. Although we do see some buyers coming into this market early in the session today. Let's take a quick look at the 30-minute. Okay, we had some overnight longs accumulating, throughout the evening in mostly the Asian session. London session, sellers came in, took the market largely right back to settlement. The overnight low right at settlement for the most part. We just took out the overnight high. The opening range remains the low of the regular trading hour session. What does that mean? Well, at 8 o'clock to 8:01 is the opening range, and it can be indicative of buyer or seller control right from the open. So far, it remains the low of the day. We do have a gap open. Here's the high of the regular trading hour session from Friday. We have a gap open, absolutely no effort to try and close that gap, which tells us, hey, you know what, things are kind of headed higher. I'm going to be looking for opportunities to buy weaknesses today as long as this opening range remains the low of the session. We added 10,000 in open interest. I'm going to go back to the daily chart here. We added 10,000 in open interest after testing this 54 even previous weekly kickoff level on Thursday. So it looks like we may have actually accumulated or brought some money into the long side on Friday. It looks like they're, at least for now, getting paid. Overnight, the opening range, again, that level there is 55.30. If we can remain above that, I'm going to look for opportunities to buy weakness today and see if we can't get this market headed towards that 56.70 to 56.90 weekly kickoff high range. Let's take a look at the E-mini S&Ps. Okay. This is the daily in the S&Ps. Last night we took a stab at weekly kickoff high, which is a it's a good target or an opportunity for us in the overnight. I'm more interested to see how the market responds at that 29.28 weekly kickoff high in regular trading hours. The regular trading hours due to open in about 8 minutes. So we're going to be taking a look at the 30-minute very shortly. Open interest, we lost 43,000 in open interest on Friday. When we're talking about open interest, we're talking about the total number of open contracts in this month right here. Okay, so if we lost 43,000 in open interest, wouldn't we say that if we were in an upward movement like we were on Friday and we lost open interest, I would say that would be short covering, right? And now everybody's kind of leaning towards risk back on because of the information coming from China and trade and all of the things that have changed over the weekend. So there's a lot of assumption that, hey, things may be all right. Let's put some more money back into the risk on equities. The upside volume on Friday wasn't great, but it's to be expected on days when the S&Ps move higher. It doesn't tend to bring a lot of new volume in this contract. So I'm not that concerned about the value from Friday, or excuse me, the volume from Friday. I'm more concerned that we took a lot of shorts out of the market on Friday. That overnight test of weekly kickoff high, how's it going to respond to us in the regular trading hour session? Okay, we've got settlement down here at 28.91.50. We've got buyers since the open last night, and we continue to see buyers in short time frame, weaker money traders continue to buy into this market. This list level up here, this 29.28 area is going to be really interesting to see on the open and all day. Really, it should be resistive or resistant, if you will, we've got a change in the kind of personality in the economies and in traders' minds right now. So I'm going to be watching the opening range, that first minute, 8:30 to 8:31. If that little range, that 1 minute range remains the low of the day, we've got a gap open, I'm going to be trading in the direction of the gap as long as that opening range remains the low of the session. If we break that opening range, we've got a whole bunch of short time frame, weaker money longs already in this market, up against an important level of inflection. This 29.28 weekly kickoff high should be important for us. Okay, so we've got gap rules. Opening range might be important in day time frame reference for us in the S&Ps this morning. Gold. Well, of course, we're back to risk on in the equities. We're coming off in gold a little bit. Let's take a quick look here at the daily chart. We mentioned last week that the upside auction seems to be struggling up in this area. Technically, this market is a little bit heavy or too long to the long side. We were going to need a little bit of a pullback or at least some consolidation to even out inventory. Now we've got some news that we may be heading towards back to a risk on type of situation with the equities. It makes sense that the gold is to the downside this morning. We lost open interest, okay, on a down day. That tells me that's long liquidation, and we're not the only ones that are probably noticing that this upside auction in gold for now has been struggling. We may be heading towards a consolidation. If we get back below that weekly kickoff low of 1482, I will be looking for an all out market state change. Not by any means suggesting that's going to happen today. Let's see. Okay, let's go to the 30. Okay, here's our settlement price. It is the overnight high, 1532.60. We've got overnight sellers in Asian session, continued selling in the European session, which gives us a gap to where we opened. Our opening range was initially I think it was the high of the session, but it didn't last very long. Here's our opening range. It's 1508.30 to down to 1507.80, a 6-tick opening range. It can be somewhat pivotal moving forward today. We have a lot of overnight shorts in this market. If we cannot push the overnight low, all of these shorts may start to get a little bit nervous and pull this market back up towards settlement. But until we see some sort of legitimate push back towards closing the gap, I'm probably going to be kind of sitting pat right now, kind of watching how the market responds right around this opening range level here. So try and stay patient for now in the gold market, because it seems to be out of balance, but it is really just kind of searching for some sort of direction. And we've got a whole bunch of overnight shorts here that are going to start to get impatient if we can't continue to move this market lower. Take a look at the euro. All right, we found our support level here. Our weekly kickoff low was 11100, and we touched it last week. And we were kind of mentioning on the forecast on Friday that we really wanted to be cautious down here, because we were thinking after 3 straight days to the downside, we may see a little bit of a face rip and rally to the upside. And we did get our rally during the regular trading hour session on Friday, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a face ripper. But the downside auction seems to be continuing to do all right. We lost some volume throughout the week as we continued to move lower, but we still added some shorts. We added some money to the short side on Friday. We added 2,000 in open interest. So really, we're just kind of settling here, kind of a bottom end of a balance area in medium time frame. Changes are going to come at weekly kickoff low if we can get there, and then let's take a quick look at the 30-minute. Look at where we are. I mean, we're right at settlement. We're inside range. We're inside value from Friday. These trend lines keep moving on me. There we go. Okay, so there's the trend line that really kind of broke, became resistant. Now we're down by near weekly kickoff low, but we're really just kind of hanging around here looking for new information. The value of the euro has not changed from last Friday. Be patient in this market. Weekly kickoff low and the overnight high seem to be kind of interesting levels for me, but in the middle there, I'm really not seeing a lot of great opportunity or the chance for us to really kind of dig our teeth into anything here. I think there's a little bit of confusion in that market, and I'm going to be just kind of patient, waiting to see what happens. All right, so let's take a look at the questions and comments we have here. Good morning, Troy. Good morning, Manuel. Patrick, nice to see you. Dan, Cameron, France Ho, good to see you. Manuel, is there a good video link to set up volume price profile on TradeStation? Thank you. I don't know that there is necessarily a link to set up volume and price profile on TradeStation. I know that there is a in their app store, they have a market profile pack. It's in the app store. Check that out in the app store. Rogerio, Monday trading can be tricky. How do you usually wait on Mondays to have a better feel of the market move? This is a great question, Rogerio, because as I've mentioned in the forecast several times, Mondays tend to be, I'm a slow starter. I need to kind of get my head wrapped around what's going on. I do look at things on Sunday, but coming in on Monday, I just try and kind of relax unless something really sticks out to me, perhaps like an opening range trade. I'm probably going to just be patient. I'm going to wait. There's always opportunity coming down the Piper's area. Don't feel as though you're going to miss everything if you just sit back, wait, look for something to come to you. I think that's the one thing that I try to do on Mondays is, okay, I see, possibilities, I have scenarios, I have all this stuff, but until something comes to me, I tend to try and stay patient. So, Rogerio, just kind of look at it that way. Say, If I get in on Monday and I'm ramped up and I'm ready to go, but I'm not seeing anything good and nothing really comes to me, I'm going to wait, because it's a long week. There's a lot of opportunities, and that's the beauty of these markets. That's why I always say after our deep breath, which I'm going to take right now, stay humble, because we're not the markets. We are merely a pawn. It's our job to find ways to enter that environment, to find ways to profit, to do things that are in our best interest. Stay grateful. Yes, stay grateful for everything that you get from the markets, and even just stay grateful that we have these markets to give us these opportunities, and that we live in a place where we can take these opportunities. And then be creative. We're not always going to see things right. We're going to have positions, we're going to have ideas, and there are going to be things that are going to be contrary to what we're thinking and what we're about to do. If we discount those, we may miss out on opportunity, and we may miss out on the chance to even just manage our risk. So stay humble, stay grateful, stay creative. We'll be back for the market recap at 2 o'clock Central today. Looking forward to it. Now, at 10:30 today, we are going to have a funded trader in the office with us. He's going to be joining Dan, the man, the Marine Hodgman, on the weekly preview. Looking forward to seeing him here, and it should be a really good show. So look forward to seeing that at 10:30. And until then, I will see you, and Dan and I will see you at 2 o'clock for the market recap. Have a great trading day. Get out there and profit. Trade well today. We'll see you later.